Hi, I'm Joy with news from the Southbridge Little League Association. If you were born after July 31st, 1983 or before August 1st, 1993, you can be in the Little League. Registrations will be at the YMCA on Saturday, January 31st and on Saturday, February 7th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. The cost is $25 per player if you between the ages of 5 and 12. $35 per player if you're between 13 and 15 years old. There is a family special available. You must bring a birth certificate. Parents, the Little League is looking for coaches and managers and team parents. I'm Joey Plaza reporting from Teen Vid News.
Hi, I'm Megan with some news for the younger kids. The Jacob Edwards Library is now taking registrations for its spring session of Story Hour. Story hours for 4 and 5-year-old children will meet once a week on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. beginning February 3rd and ending May 19th. The story hours for 3-year-old children will meet once a week on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. beginning February 4th and ending May 20th. The story hour for 2-year-old children will meet once a week for 6 weeks at 10 a.m. at Mondays beginning February 2nd. The story hour for 6 to 9-year-old children will be held at 3:45 p.m. on Fridays, February 6th and 13th. The library will host Ed Popularzik and Magical Moments at 2 p.m. Thursday, February 19th. This is vacation week. Advanced registration is required for all programs. You may register by coming into the library or calling the children's room at 764-5427.
Hi, I'm Drew Abbott, and I want to talk about winter activities at Westwell. Looking for a good place to try out those new cross-country skis, ice skates, or sled? The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers operated Westwell Lake Recreation Area on the Sturbridge-Southbridge town line is the ideal place. Conditions permitting, there is a great hill for sledding, several trails for skiing, and a skating pond, perfect for a nice family outing. Even if the conditions aren't perfect for any of these wintertime activities, take a look around. You may spot an otter playing in the river or deep browsing near one of the trails. It is a beautiful, quiet location. For more information, contact a park ranger at the Westfield Lake Dam at 764-6424. And I'm Drew Abbott reporting for Teen Vid News.
Hi, I'm Felix. This message is for Southbridge taxpayers. When paying tax payments, donations can be made to the Town Scholarship Fund. Approximately 300 taxpayers have made contributions to date. Residents of Southbridge who are planning to further their education at a duly accredited degree-granting institution can apply for a scholarship. I'm Felix Leisha, reporting for Teen Vid News.
Hi, I'm Shane with basketball news from Wells. During the week of January 12th, Wells girls and boys basketball team played Shepherd Hill, and both teams won. The scheduled games against Quaybog were canceled because of the snow day. Last week, the teams played against North Brookfield on Tuesday. Both the boys and the girls were victorious. The girls won by a score of 30-12, and the boys won by a score of 49-38. The games on Friday, January 23rd, were canceled due to the bad weather. This week, Wells plays away. We will bring more scores next week. I'm Shane reporting for Teen Vid News.
On Saturday, January 31st, 1998 at 7 p.m., there will be a family benefit for the Brodeurs, starring 4-time Band of the Year Cactus, with a special appearance by Jay Booper of Panning for Gold. DJ services by Mike Sulor of Q100 Radio at the Sturbridge Host Hotel. Tickets may be purchased at the following: Southbridge Police Department, Martell's U-Wash, the Corner Pocket, Video Haven. Tickets can also be purchased at the door. See you there.
Hey, I'm Jose Vasquez with some choral news. On Saturday, January 31st, the Southbridge Choral Association will present the second annual Men Who Cook. It will be held at the Knights of Columbus Hall. Men Who Cook is an event featuring men from our community who cook and serve their favorite dish. There will be 2 seatings, one at 5 p.m. and the second at 7:30. Tickets are $7 for adults and $5 for children 12 and under. As a special treat, there will be live entertainment provided by the Southbridge High School Vocal Jazz Ensemble. We hope to have footage from this event on next week's show. I'm Jose Vasquez reporting to you for Teen Vid News.
Hi, I'm Willie. Recently, the Knights of Columbus held their free throw competition. This event was held at Trinity Catholic Academy. All the winners from the district will compete on March 14th at the Auburn High School Gymnasium in the Central Regionals. First round winners were, for girls, 10-year-old Michelle Calsons, 13-year-old Jessica Lisi, 14-year-old Cheryl Belandrick. Boys, 10-year-old Joseph Gullickson, 11-year-old Sean Cookins, 12-year-old Eamon Tobin, 13-year-old Matt Moriarty. I'm Willie reporting for Teen Vid News.
We now pause for these public service announcements.
Here's my nephew Scruff about to run into trouble again.
Hey, Bobo, where's your video game? In here. Well, look at this. Uh-oh. It's my dad's. You want to hold it? What'll I do?
If you get my new comic activity book, More Adventures with Scruff, you'll find out what you can do about bullies and guns. And you'll see lots of games.
Cool.
For your free copy of my new comic activity book, just write Scruff McGruff, Chicago, Illinois, 60652, and help take a bite out of crime.
I want it. I want it.
Don't you love that safe, free feeling you get in a pickup truck, Larry?
Yeah, nothing but you, me, the open road, a deer.
Yeah! The cow! Yeah! An ostrich! The village people! The village people?
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Especially in pickup trucks.
I didn't know the village people were doing a road tour.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Alden with another story of great disasters in history. Today I'll tell of the Johnstown flood. The day was May 31st, 1889. The place was Johnstown, Pennsylvania. In the early 1800s, travel between the major cities in Pennsylvania was a hardship. It was also difficult to transport goods. Something needed to be done so that people and freight could get from one place to another safely and comfortably. The solution seemed to be a canal between the valley of Johnstown and Pittsburgh, 75 miles to the east. Its main purpose would be to handle east and west barge traffic. By the middle of the century, such a canal was finished. It had to have a steady supply of water, so the South Fork Dam was built 14 miles upstream from Johnstown. It was an impressive structure, 100 feet in height and 272 feet at its base. The flow water from the huge lake behind the dam was controlled by outlet pipes. There was also a spillway at one end that could carry up 45,000 gallons of water per second. Only a few years later, railroad tracks were laid between Johnstown and Pittsburgh that put an end to canal traffic since trains are faster and cheaper. From then on, the canal and the dam were neglected. Badly needed repairs were not made. The dam now, without any function, grew weaker and weaker. At this time, Johnston had a population of about 30,000. It was a busy place because it was close to coal mines, iron deposit, and limestone quarries. It had grown into a large industrial center. Also, the area around the South Fork Dam had become something of a resort. The fine fishing attracted rich men from Pittsburgh. Many of them built cottages and clubhouses on the waterfront. The disaster. The rain began on May 30th. All night long, the chilly downpour continued. In those days, rainfall was not measured in inches as it is now, so no one knows exactly how much rain fell. But it was enough to cause creeks and rivers to overflow. It was later estimated that during the morning of May 31st, the swollen creeks and the heavy rains were pouring up to 75,000 gallons of water per second into the lake behind the dam. In Johnstown, water also began to creep up slowly in the streets and buildings. The residents of Johnstown were not alarmed because this sort of thing had never happened before. But they were surely not prepared for the terrifying events that followed. Shortly before noon, the lake began to pour over the dam. 3 hours later, the unthinkable happened. At 3 p.m., the dam collapsed. An incredible 25 million tons of water roared down the valley. It created a monstrous wall of water 40 feet high. Every single thing in its path was wiped out. Trees, no matter how large, were uprooted. Farm buildings and fertile fields were washed away. As it traveled, the wall of water became even more dangerous. It picked up tons of debris as it rushed over the land. It smashed through several tiny towns on its way to Johnstown, where the poor people had absolutely no warning. As they peered through the rain, they thought they were seeing a cloud or dust of smoke coming towards them. No one had any idea what they were really seeing was a solid wall of water full of railroad cars, trees, steel rails, chunks of buildings, bodies of men, women, children, and farm animals. When they finally realized what was happening, everyone ran for his life. For the next 10 minutes, terrified families lost track of one another as they tried to get out of the way of the deadly torrent rushing towards them. Their frantic efforts were useless. About 1,000 people died in the first rush of the filthy waters. Things quickly grew worse in Johnstown. A huge jam of debris piled up at a town bridge, so it grew to 30 feet in height and extended 30 blocks into the city. No one knows how the fire in the pile of the debris started. It may have resulted from a chemical reaction between the contents of a wrecked railroad car loaded with lime and floodwaters. But at sundown, a flicker of flame was spotted by day survivors of the flood. Oil from a wrecked railroad tin car had washed in and around the debris. That was all that was needed to turn the small flicker into an inferno. Many of the people in the pile of wood and steel burned to death, while their friends and neighbors stood by helplessly. There was nothing anyone could do. All in all, more than 2,200 people died in the disaster, and it had lasted less than an hour. Aftermath. The survivors were in pitiful shape. They had no food, no clothing, and worst of all, no homes. Many were sick and injured and needed medical help. All were wet and hungry. Children had lost one or both of their parents. Parents had lost children. Husbands sought wives, wives sought their husbands. 99 families, some with as many as 10 members, were entirely gone. There was worry about the disease and epidemics that often follow such disasters. The poor, stricken town needed help, and it needed it fast. People in Pittsburgh and the nearby areas organized a relief committee at once. Within 24 hours, a train loaded with food, clothing, medicine, and other supplies was on its way. It could not get all the way to Johnstown because so much of the railroad track had been washed away. Goods were transferred to wagons for the rest of the journey. About $3 million was sent by people around the world to help the Johnstown survivors rebuild their lives. Somehow the city recovered, although it was not until 1937, after several more floods, that a flood control system was built. Today, Johnstown is a thriving city which produces furniture, textiles, and clay products. Most important of all, its people no longer live in fear of flood.
Yeah, I'm Jose Vasquez. On Super Bowl Sunday, the Southbridge Lions Club held their 7th annual Cartoon Characters Breakfast. It was held at the Elks Hall. The menu included pancakes, French toast, Canadian crepes, and ham. For most of the kids that attended, it was not for the food, but to see and talk with the cartoon characters. The little ones also got to dance on stage to musical tunes. This event is held to benefit the George Casaubon Scholarship Fund. Watch our footage and you'll agree that the event was a success.
President Clinton's family. Oh, no. Pooh Bear's been on a diet, low cal. You ever seen this one? Can you do this next one? I'll bet you can do this. All right, here you go. Nice job, everybody. Hey, it's Arthur. How are you, Arthur? Now we're going to speed it up. One more turn around, turn around, turn around, turn around, turn around, turn around. Hey, and who said this class was not going to get it? You ready for this? All right, here we go, fast. Yes. All right. Oh, I like the wiggle. The wiggle looks good. Yeah, you got a good wiggle, too.
We're here to recap the Southbridge Pioneers versus the St. Bernard's of Fitchburg Saints. A very good game. St. Bernard's led Southbridge in the early going by about 7 points at one point. Southbridge came back and led for most of the game until the final about 3 minutes or so. And it was a contest back and forth like a tennis match. And ended up with a really championship-like moment. Pandemonium on the floor after Jonathan Jimenez took a 2-point shot to win the game 72-70 with just 2 seconds on the clock when he shot it. Southbridge won, and Pandemonium hit the floor looking like the Boston Garden of the 80s.
What can the Optimist Club do for you? Get involved and find out.
These are the drugs that you may start to use. And these are the ones I don't want you using.
Drug Abuse Resistance Education.
Keep your friends that are real friends.
Every week, the police officers of DARE are teaching our children how to resist the pressures to use drugs.
Everyone's doing it. No.
Let's get out of here.
No simple slogans with easy answers.
Remember, I want you to stay safe because I want to see you again.
Dare to make a difference.
Hi, I'm Sean Moriarty here, along with Alex Rose at the Solomon Pond Mall, where members of the Boston Red Sox are scheduled to appear for an autograph session. We're hopeful to get an interview with at least one of the Red Sox players here today, so stay tuned. We'll be right back after these public service announcements.
We want to see our children succeed. But setting easy goals for our kids creates the toughest obstacle they'll ever face. Because succeeding in the real world isn't easy. Help the effort to raise standards in America's public schools. Call 1-800-96-PROMISE.
How about one of those big... There you go.
Want to have your picture? Go in there, Ben.
Oh, give the camera a nice big kiss, will you?
Hello, I'm here with Nomar Garcia-Parra, the Boston Red Sox, the reigning Rookie of the Year. Nomar, who were your idols when you were growing up as a kid?
I didn't have any. I think the game itself was my idol. I love the game so much. I was more concerned about playing it and learning about it.
Alex?
What is the biggest problem that you think that youth face in America today?
In America, the biggest problem? I think people worried about what color everybody is and where they come from instead of just worrying about human beings and treating each other like that.
Do you have any advice for kids in, say, a Little League about what they should do to better themselves if they want?
Well, you know what? It takes a lot of practice. It's a game of a lot of repetition. If you really want to get better, you make that sacrifice, you practice, and keep your heart in it.
Who was your biggest fan and supporter as you were growing up in the Little Leagues?
Biggest fan support, I think, was my parents. My parents have been there. They stuck through me all the time. They're still there for me, and I turn to them all the time.
Thanks for coming on with us, Rosa. Oh, God.
One more, huh?
For tall guys like this, do you think we have a chance for playing in the major leagues?
Tall guys like you? Well, of course you do. You know what? That's the greatest thing about this game, about baseball. You don't have to be a certain size or whatever. As long as you can do the job, you'll be able to make it to the big leagues.
All right, and this is Alex Rosa and Sean Moriarty reporting from Team Vid News, sponsored by the Cops and Kids.
All right. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Thank you. Nice meeting you.
You don't need algebra, geometry, and calculus to get this job. Now, if that doesn't convince you to take math courses, I don't know what will. Call NACME. We'll tell you what you need to do.
And now let's take a look at a short 7-minute animated video called Learn Gun Safety with Eddie Eagle. The video is hosted by Jason Priestley and is an entertaining and effective way to teach children this important safety message. Let's take a look.
Ah, hello there. You got me just about to preview our new Eagle Eyes safety show. Quite a cast of characters here. There's old Theodore Eagle, never misses a beat when it comes to water safety. And Amelia Eagle, always alert for fires. And of course, there's Eddie Eagle, alert for gun safety. What? You haven't heard of Eddie Eagle? Why, he's the #1 ace in the skies. A real hero, I'd say. Eddie was born in the mountains of the great Northwest. High in the mountains. Here he is, just popping out of the shell.
Yeah! Hello, world!
From his first day out, Eddie had a natural talent for loops.
Wow! Hey, look at that! Hey, I think I got it, Mom! Whoa, whoa!
Eddie had other talents, too. First, his ability to see a long way. Yep, he had those eagle eyes. Eagle eyes, always alert, and a big heart for others. It was Eddie's heart that led him to join the Eagle Eye Club, so he could help children everywhere.
Eddie Eagle, at your service.
Before long, Eddie was in charge of the entire gun safety department. Let's see what Eddie's up to now.
Yeah!
Eddie, what's up?
What's up? Well, I am, as a matter of fact, about 50 stories, straight up. Whoa, hey!
Eddie, what's wrong?
Oh, just some stray balloons cluttering up the airways. Talk about a busy morning, though.
What happened?
Well, I was making my rounds in the countryside when through the open window of an attic, I spied 5 or 6 kids looking all around, really excited about neat stuff they'd found. Grandma's attic was full of fun things. Lots of old boxes, all tied up with string. There was a clock, and a globe, and a trunk full of hats, and an old radio, and a baseball bat. Oh, and an out-of-tune guitar. Boy, they were having fun. And then, behind the broom, I saw a gun. At just that moment, the kids saw it too. I didn't wait. I knew what to do. Stop! Don't touch! I'm Eddie Eagle, and I like you too much to see you get hurt, and that's why I say, if you spot a gun, just walk away. Go find an adult, go tell him what you found. Guns shouldn't be left lying around. Yeah, stop! Don't touch, leave the area, tell an adult. Do it with me now, stop! Don't touch, leave the area, tell an adult.
Grandma, we found a gun in the attic.
All right. The kids told their grandma, and I knew my work was done. Now they know what to do if they see a gun.
Way to go, Eddie. Sounds like you got there in the nick of time.
And that isn't all.
You mean there's more?
Hey, whoa, whoa!
Eddie, hey, Eddie.
Oh, yeah, there's lots more. I hurried back to town to the neighborhood school to give a little speech on gun safety rules. Then I stopped by the park where the little kids play, and I said, "Do you remember what I taught you yesterday?" And they said, "If you see a gun..."
Stop! Don't touch! Leave the area! Tell an adult! Stop! Don't touch! Leave the area! Tell an adult!
Oh, I gotta tell you, they remembered it well. I stopped to get a cone, and then settled into phone, when I heard a funny sound, and I quickly turned around. "I know I saw a present," said Josh to Jill. "Where'd your mom put it?" asked their friend Phil. They opened up a closet, and their eyes did spy a big blue box on a shelf up high. "There's a gun up here," I heard Josh say. That's when I knew this was no place to play. Huh? Oh. If you see a gun, stop. Don't touch. I'm Eddie Eagle, and I like you so much. Please be safe. Go away. It's a must. Go find an adult, someone you can trust. Go tell an adult. Don't hang around. Tell him what you saw. Tell him what you found. Stop. Don't touch. Leave the area. Tell an adult. Yeah, stop. Don't touch. Leave the area. Tell an adult. The kids found their father and told him what they found. And I knew I could leave because they were safe and sound.
2 in 1 day, Eddie? Man, you must be exhausted.
You got that right. I think I'll take a little break here.
Well, go ahead. You deserve it. Way to go, man.
Hey, thanks. Huh?
What is it?
Well, looks like some kids playing hide and seek below. I'm gonna check it out. Guess I gotta go.
Later, Eddie. That's Eddie Eagle. Eagle eyes, always alert, and he knows what to do. Do you? Do you know what to do if you spot a gun? In fact, if you were one of those kids playing hide and seek and you found a gun, what would you do?
Stop! Don't touch! Leave the area! Tell an adult! Yeah, stop! Don't touch! Leave the area! Tell an adult!
Talk it over with a grown-up you trust. Stop, don't touch, leave the area, tell an adult.
We hope you enjoyed this video on gun safety. And remember, if you see a gun, stop, don't touch, leave the area, and tell an adult. This video is sponsored by the National Rifle Association. If you want more information about gun safety, you can call 1-800-231-0752.
Thanks for watching Teen Event News.
Send your comments or suggestions to the Southbridge Police Department, 1 Mechanic Street, Southbridge, Mass. 01550.
Or you can call the Cable 11 studio at 765-1525 and leave your message. And we'll see you the next time around.